In this video, I'm going to look at JavaScript front-end development or full stack fundamentals. The thing is, there's really no hard and fast definition for full stack development. It really depends on some kind of context, and even the context changes. In terms of web development, then what we're looking at, the context in which we can discuss full stack development revolve around the internet and the World Wide Web. Then we can think of some of the tools that we use to access the World Wide Web. We need a computer, we need a browser, we need an operating system. So that's what we're looking at when we talk about full stack development. So we can look at it then from three parts, or we can look at full stack development as having three layers. The front end layer, that's your browser based stuff. That's your browser and how it operates, what it needs to present the images and text that it's presenting. Then there's the server side part of it. That's your operating system based programming languages. So things like PHP and C Sharp and those other types of scripting languages on the server side. Of course, most website would need a backend, a database backend. So that's the third layer. Once we look at full stack development as having three layers, then we can, of course, drill down into these layers a little bit further. That front end layer with where we're presenting information on a browser, that's the layer that encompasses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML and CSS, that's the structure and the presentation layer. JavaScript is considered to be a browser-based scripting language. So JavaScript will interact with your HTML to make things happen on the browser itself. Then there are the server-side languages that support your front-end part. So these things like PHP, Ruby, Python, even C Sharp, these are the languages that would support your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In fact, you would need a server-side language in order to interact with the database, which is the third layer of our three-part or three-layer setup. Now, of course, we can have a web page or a website without a database, but most of the sophisticated ones would have some kind of database because your website would want to collect information from the user as well as present the user with information or specific information that the user is requesting. That sort of back and forth would require some type of a persistence layer. Now, of course, these three layers that I just mentioned is not the entire story. Of course, we would a lot more support than that. And being a full stack developer, these are the three core parts of being a full stack developer. Now, of course, if you know something about HTTP and REST, then that's even better. This is the layer that sort of pulls everything together and makes everything happen. They operate at sort of like the network layer, but nevertheless, you need to have some knowledge about HTTP and about REST. Then any good web developer, full stack web developer, would have an excellent knowledge of the entire application. This is the entire system that your website is running on. So we're talking web server software, things like IIS or Apache. We're also looking at the operating system, the file systems within the operating system. So this is where the web developer would interact with the systems person, whoever that is, and whatever his title is. It could be systems developer, systems administrator, it could even be the network administrator. So a full stack developer is not expected to have excellent or expert knowledge in any one particular area. Like, for example, jQuery, you can spend years in just using jQuery alone. But a full stack developer is expected to have a general understanding, a good understanding of the overall picture, the overall architecture that makes up a website and allows that website to function.